Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with Challenge Accepted. And today, Challenge Accepted is taking on quite a few challenges. The basic challenge that Shannon and I are both doing is 30 Days of Sketches with Chrissy's Beautiful Life. And this is today's, the day 10 sketch. I'm thinking stitches, I guess. And it's a really beautiful design with part circles. It actually looks like it has doilies there, and lots of possibilities for what could be done with that. I'm also doing Calvinball, as you know, and I'm also doing Punched Out Thursdays to Die For. And so I decided to get as many of my Calvinball points as possible by punches and dies. So I have die cut a whole bunch of things here. This is something that's fussy cut, and that's something that's glittery, and I'll tell you why in a minute. All of that is important. I've got some vellum in there. This is a rather frantic looking list of all of the Calvinball points. But in addition to that, I'm doing Dottie About Flares, 30 Days of Sketches prompts, and for day 10 it's circles. So I got the circles covered. So I can put that aside because I know I've got that right. This was a list of the things that I thought I might have dies to do. And I found I was able to get some of them, and we'll see about those in a minute. But I'm also doing I have a challenge open over at the Secret Not Secret Kit Club for their secret scrap party that they had last weekend. And my challenge is based on my surgery that I had last week. And I have some photos here that kind of relate to it. The requirements are, it's kind of a grab 5, and the 5 things I have to grab are something gauzy, like vellum or actual gauze or something like that, because there was a lot of gauze involved at the time. Circles, as in open nasal passages. Red, as you use your imagination. And I think I have something red around here somewhere. And something fussy cut, and my little polka dot elephant is fussy. It was stamped in fussy cut because I didn't have a die to cut that shape. Something glittery, and I have stamped and die cut a pineapple out of glitter paper, so I've got that. And an extra point, use filters on your photos. And I did use a filter from the Prisma app on my phone. I think it's called Lava. And I'll tell you the story of these 3 photos in a minute. So I'm going to get started just kind of putting things down, and I'll talk story and reasoning and logic and so forth as I'm going along, because I don't really want this to take all day. I'm going to just make some straight cuts. The largest circle is kind of up here at the top left. I'm going to kind of cut a bit off of this. This is kind of a gray-green color, and it's polka dot, so that gets me a couple Calvinball points. I'm gonna kind of put that right at the edge there. And then I'm gonna do this next one. I'll just cut some off of it, maybe cut a little bit more off of it. One of the newest rules that they came out with that was added today was 3 or more pattern papers. So I'm getting the 3 pattern papers in with my circles here. And this guy is maybe lined up I'm going to line it up a little closer here. In the photo, it's kind of lined up directly under this. Actually, I think I will go kind of far to the left. And it's really just half a circle. So I'm going to cut maybe a little bit more off of it. The circle bits that are on here are kind of my canvas for where my Calvinball points and my photos are going to go. So this goes right there. Okay, one of the largest die cut elements I have is this sunflower, and I'm going to cut part of it away. I have a little bit of an issue here with my die not completely cutting that out. And so I'm going to try to get that out. If not, I'll just use a part of the sunflower where that doesn't show. I should have done that off camera. Okay, that's out. Let's see if I can get this one out. Okay, done. I'm not going to punch through those little holes. I'm still going to do only part of it, and I'm going to kind of maybe put it up there on top of that. I'm going to cut it away from the frame. Let me get this part that can look like a whole petal. Okay, and so now I'm going to cut that part. Okay. And I'm going to actually kind of lift up this guy right there and have it adhered that way. And I'm going to kind of do this where the die cuts and other, ways that I'm getting points are going to be kind of adhered underneath these circles, and they're going to, I'm going to look at the original. There's pretty much greenery coming out of this one and this one. I may just go ahead and lift this one up. It would have been good if I'd put those under there we go. Okay, if I'd put those on top of foam, then I'd have room to scooch things under. But I did okay, so those get me some polka dots, that gets me some polka dots, so on and so forth. I also have to use a stencil, and one of the things that I want to do with my, and I need a snowflake that was added today. So I'm going to maybe do, and I can let this dry, do a little bit of texture paste through this stencil with a small snowflake right there. And of course the snowflake has absolutely no, my texture paste is all dried up. Okay, so we won't be using texture paste. What other medium? Well, you know what I could do? I could use one of my other texture pastes. What do I have handy? I have some Bo Bunny glitter texture paste. I bet it's dried up too. Nope, it's kind of dry, but not dried up. Not totally dried up. So that gives me a glittery thing for a Calvinball point and a glittery thing for my Grab 5. And the glitter came from the fact that I was really desperate for ice chips. What I like about this glitter paste is that it's going to dry kind of clear so that the so that it's not going to be so obvious, because it really has absolutely no reason for being there other than to get a Calvinball point. And yes, I'm a Calvinball fanatic, and I do enjoy the randomness of some of the things that I end up putting on my pages, but it also I also kind of like it when things make some sense. So there. Okay, and I have a purple house. Who knows why one would have a purple house, but that's kind of that's the scrap of paper that I had handy when I die cut the house. I'm gonna actually put my first photo on there. And this photo is of me at the age of 23, which is when I was first told I needed that surgery. And I was afraid that my brand new career might not be helped by the 2 weeks off work that you had to take back in those days. So there's my filtered photo of a 23-year-old who decided not to get the surgery. And then this next photo is of a 74-year-old me last summer. On vacation, suffering one of the worst sinus infections of the 1 million sinus infections I had since this age, when I could have prevented them. And I was also beginning to get the information that I was beginning to realize that my second ablation for AFib had not lasted. The first one lasted 14 years. The second one lasted about a year and a half maybe. And I was beginning to realize that I had AFib, and there's no medication that controls mine. So that was leading to an unpleasant fact of life. And if I had had the surgery when I was this girl, this woman, this old woman, wouldn't have had AFib, wouldn't have had the sleep apnea and breathing problems from the obstruction that could have been removed when I was that age. And then I most likely would not have ever had AFib and would never have needed an ablation. So 8 million or 1 million sinus infections later, maybe 10 or 12 emergency room visits for AFib and 2 ablations later, I finally had the surgery last week. And hopefully it will help with all of those conditions. I would really like that to be the case. I'm going to just adhere this guy. I've got a speech bubble here. There will be some journaling going on in my own handwriting. At the end of all this, I typed some of it up, but when I printed it, it didn't, I printed it, I placed it too close to the edge of the page, and my printer, I didn't tell my printer to do borderless printing. I told it to print normally, and what I'm doing here, these are the tropical leaves, and that's also in vellum. And while I've got tropical stuff going on, why not put a glittery pineapple in there? Yeah, that'll work. I think I have wood veneer is another requirement we have now as of today. And I'm speaking to you, of course, on Wednesday. So I'm operating with Wednesday's Calvinball rules because I don't know Thursdays yet. So I've got this wood veneer tropical leaf, and I thought I'd make kind of a little collection of tropical stuff going on over here. Not for any particular reason, except I like tropical things. I'm gonna do this ticket. I'm gonna kind of beat it up a little bit and kind of glue it behind something. I was at a baseball game when this photo was taken, so the ticket might be, if I had looked, I probably could have found an actual like copy of the ticket from that baseball game, but this ticket is also from Texas, and I was in Texas, so if that counts. I can kind of do this frame on top of this photo. Kind of zeroing in on the part of me that was surgically adjusted. I have a hedgehog, a die-cut hedgehog. I completely forgot I had this die, and I started going through the requirements and trying to see which ones of them I could die cut. And what didn't I get? And this, I think, is from Rosie's Studio. I didn't have it in continue. And of course I made a purple hedgehog because, you know, why not? If you have now my little hedgehog body here is going to cover up the speech bubble. So I want to do it more like this, and then like that. It's kind of cool because you could cut it out of two different colors, but I just kind of cut it out of one. There's a bee, and I die cut. I actually have a bee die, and why not have the bee over here on the sunflower? I have an arrow, and I think I'm going to have the arrow pointing here, just because that was kind of the ultimate goal, was to get there. And it only took me 52 years to do it. So, go figure. I wonder how much money the, like, medical insurance companies over the years that have covered doctor's visits for sinus infections and the ablation and all of the cardiology appointments and everything. The cost over those 52 years had to be staggering. So where do I want? I'm going to go here with the musical notes. I have a gold camera. I could do that. I could kind of, let me just put it right there, a little bit off. I had in mind I would tuck everything under the perimeters, but I'm kind of not, the shapes of things just not lending themselves to that. This is supposed to be a duck. It looks more like a pigeon to me, but I'm gonna call it a duck. If it looks like a duck, walks like a duck. I haven't heard whether it quacks like a duck. Let's see. Do we want a duck over here talking to the hedgehog? Why not? I have a die cut cloud, and I have a punched cloud. So I'm going to go ahead and put the die cut cloud kind of right here. I'll spread it out so that the glue doesn't show so much. I'll put this guy here, and I actually die cut a rainbow shape, and I have this negative image of it that could go right there. So let me fussy cut that out. And it's white on white, so it's going to be fairly subtle. I love color, but sometimes, as I learned with my last layout, riotous use of color when you're just really jam-packed with Calvinball points really is unpleasant to look at. And this is me talking. So I'm thinking this might, okay, so there's the rainbow shape. I have a butterfly here that is one of those amazing dies from Bramble Fox. And I'm gonna put that, when you die cut it, you get the butterfly's wings, and then also, actually I pulled the frame above the wings, and you're actually supposed to do it the other way. I don't think there are any Bramble Fox butterfly die police that are going to call me on that, but I may as well do it right. Let's see, that's not sticking. Let's see, where do I want to put the star? We could have the star kind of maybe here next to the snowflake. I'm going to put a little bit of foam, and maybe I'll put it over there by the cloud. Oh, I actually might want the airplane over by the cloud. I've got a couple little things that, let's see, I'm going to put it maybe right there for the gold star for finally getting the surgery. I've got this airplane that could go right there. I actually cut it out of the orange, but then I liked the reverse side with the two different blues better, so I'll do that. And the airplane is actually significant to the story because I never, ever flew on an airplane without getting a cold that led to a sinus infection, ever. And I've flown for business, I've flown for pleasure, I've done a lot of flying in my life, and hopefully that's my little birthday mouse, and it has nothing to do with the story, but it's cute and it kind of goes there. Something else that has nothing to do with the story, although maybe it does, is this cute little polka dotted elephant. I'm going to put him here, kind of behind these leaves, because in those 52 years, I have never gotten a good night's sleep, ever. And as a result, there's a lot of evidence lately that shows how important sleep is to maintaining healthy weight. And my lack of sleep has actually interfered with my ability to lose weight or maintain a good weight when I achieve it. And I have, over the years, achieved good, healthy weight at times. And here's where I'm putting a few little sequins, including the avocado. So maybe I wouldn't tend to want to grow to the size of a baby elephant if I had slept. So I'm hoping out of this surgery will come some good nights of sleep, B, some elimination of sleep apnea, so no more CPAP. And I guess that was B. C is a reduction in or elimination of or reversal of my AFib so that I don't have to have another ablation or a pacemaker installed. And maybe some greater success at losing and keeping weight off. So I'm going to call this one done for the sake of this video. It has lots of die cuts everywhere, and it has lots of Calvinball points, though not all of them, and off camera I'm going to fill in a few others, but basically the look of it is going to be pretty much the same. And I'll keep you posted on how well my goals for the surgery. I asked my doctor, I said, I'm hoping for this, 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 and this. And he said, he said, I'm hoping for great improvements in all of those areas. But I will tell you that in my 33 years of doing this surgery, your case was in the top 5 most complicated, most difficult that I've done. He said the obstruction was extraordinary. And he said, so I'm going to say that in your lifetime, you've probably never, ever known breathing like most people do. So I await all this new world of breathing and sleeping and having a healthy heart. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next Thursday for another challenge accepted and punched out Thursdays to die for, and there will be Calvinball points involved, and lots of fun. Bye.